Welcome back in. It's hour number 2, a three-man front on this Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a good hump day out there. We're here until 2 o'clock. Hopefully entertaining and informing you throughout the morning and early afternoon. We will talk to the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide momentarily, brought to you by Craneworks, as Chris Stewart will join the show, give us a preview of Mississippi State, Alabama tonight at Coleman Coliseum. That's an 8 o'clock tip-off down in T-Town. Meanwhile, Auburn licking its wounds after a tough loss on the road last night to Oklahoma. Auburn is firmly on that bubble. We will talk to our resident bracketologist, Rocco Miller, coming up at the bottom of the hour. We'll see if last night's loss put Auburn in a much more precarious situation going into the weekend against Ole Miss.
You're looking to try something new, you can find a new location of crafts right there on 280 in Mountain Brook. It's the old Wendy's location, if you remember that, near the Hollywood Boulevard exit there as you approach Mountain Brook, where it splits on 280 between Mountain Brook and Homewood. But you can get in. They're open for breakfast at the drive-thru, but you can also try lunch today. How about those made-from-scratch, hand-battered chicken tenders? You want to go with the chicken bites? They got salads, sandwiches, all kinds of different things. And don't forget about the homemade sides that you can go with. Also, they got buffalo chicken dip, all kinds of things that you can peruse. Don't forget about the frozen cocktails you can enjoy there on the nice patio area, especially now that the warmer weather is coming here to the state of Alabama. It's Crafts 280. Don't forget about the location there, Crestline Village on Church Street, also 7th Avenue South downtown. CraftsBHM.com. For more information, always tell them Landrum from Jocks sent you.
So last night, the United States men's hockey team, the gold medal winners, they were at the State of the Union address. Did you watch it last night, Conrad?
No, I was watching basketball.
Okay. A lot of people were watching basketball.
EuroLeague?
The Turkish league.
I just want to clarify what version of basketball you were watching.
SEC basketball.
All right.
That was
so the United States of America type basketball.
Correct. Well, it depends on the team you're watching nowadays.
That's true.
It's about half and half.
Yeah, if you're watching UT Martin. Technically, are you
like
watching
75%.
American basketball?
That's a good point.
Or Eastern European?
Does your wife, does she understand the brouhaha that has been developing over the last 2 weeks with your anti-American thought process?
No, because she'd be really disappointed because she's a true patriot, and so I think that might bring an end to our marriage, and I would just hate for that to
She's
happen.
a true patriot.
But I did share with y'all, in the process of me moving, I had to get rid of an old couch via Facebook, and somebody messaged me yesterday about the couch, and they said, I would buy this from me if you were a real American. So shout out to one of our wonderful listeners that
so they
saw
said
my
that they
listing
would
for-
have purchased that couch on Facebook Marketplace, but they knew that you were un-American.
Correct. So I had
And
to
you
sell
were-
it to someone else.
You were probably wanting Russian rubles to pay for that couch as opposed to good old American greenbacks.
Yeah. Correct.
Greenbacks got you, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Trip you up if you're not ready for it. What kind of couch? What did you find? Anything interesting you found on the couch?
In the couch? No.
Golly, there's a story I want to tell from college, but I can't.
Did you blue light the couch before you sold it?
I vacuumed it.
Put the black light on it is what Pat meant.
I know. I know what he meant. It's someone else's problem now.
That's fine.
It was a good couch.
Speaking of Conrad and his attitude towards the Olympics,
In America.
coming up at 12:30, I have in my hand right here, Landrum, and for those watching on YouTube, I have in my hand right here the United States of America naturalization quiz for those wonderful people that want to become Americans in this country. You have to pass a test. And I'm very curious if Conrad Van Order, who claims he was born in the United States of America, but he will not watch and support his country in the Olympics, whether he is going to be able to pass this test that I have in my ink-stained hands.
What is a passing grade?
All right. Molly, would you like to chime in here?
Like a 70?
No, I think it's less than that.
So it's
Sweet.
I did some research. The official test, they give you 20 questions of the 100 question pool, okay, and it's randomized. And you have to get at least 12 correct, so 60%.
60%.
Okay, so you have 20 questions prepared for me?
No. We're going to do 10.
Okay, so I have to get 6 out of the 10 right for 60%.
Correct.
Correct.
I think we tick it up a little bit, though, because this is for people that are trying to become citizens. You, quote unquote, air quotes, were born here. I think that the expectation should be higher. You need to get at least 8 out of 10.
Okay, I think what we need to do is on the Courtesy GMC text line up until 12:30, we need people to let us know how many he needs to get right out of 10. Because this is going to be random. Because I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to let you choose the questions. I've put obviously numbers next to the questions.
Okay.
And then you're going to give me
A number, and you're going to read that question.
and I'll read that question. So this is not me coming up with the hardest questions or me making up questions. This is from the actual test.
Oh, so you have all the questions.
I have all
I'll
the
just give you a
questions.
number 1 through 100, and you'll
Correct. And then I will
Okay,
correlate
gotcha.
number with the question. So say it is completely random. And I want to hear on the text line, how many out of 10 does Conrad need to get right to be considered an American?
Here's a sample, and this is just a random question I would have for you. Who wrote the Star Spangled Banner?
Francis Scott Key.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
That's all you need
And
to
I'll
do.
be completely honest with you. I do not know if that is one of the questions. I have no idea.
So I already have 1 right.
Yeah.
No, we're not counting that.
Dadgummit.
No,
It's not a question.
it's not a question.
I was trying to ask the questions that I thought he could answer correctly to eliminate those being asked in the actual quiz.
That's unfortunate.
Now, when you graduated from the easiest college in America, as you have told us many times, that would be the University of Alabama. Did you take any history or
They hand out
civics
degrees
or-
like high interest credit cards.
Yeah.
That's right. Wow.
Did you ever get a high interest credit card when you were in school?
Absolutely.
Like in the student,
You better
like
believe
during
it.
lunch?
Yeah, no, well, I was like freshman orientation. Somebody comes up, hey, give me a credit card,
You want to talk about the predatory nature? The
Yeah.
predatory nature of, you know who you are, you out there taking, we're never going to pay it back.
Oh yeah,
I paid mine back.
I did take a history class, though, but
just one.
I took 1, and it was specifically World War II history because that's my favorite. So it was only World War II stuff. So I haven't taken American history in
That is the old standby for me at night.
12
Though.
years.
If I can't go to sleep, World War II in color.
It's good. It's interesting.
Nothing like war and death to make you go to sleep.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's very weird.
But then you get, like Winston Churchill, you get one of those speeches.
So Molly, what do you think out of 10 he should have to get?
I think we should up the number because, like Landrum said, he was born here. He took U.S. history in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I think 7 out of 10 is fair.
It's not like he grew up in Rhode Island. He grew up here in the Deep South. He should know his history.
Rhode Island.
So they get different. They have a different understanding of American history in Rhode
Hey,
Island.
I don't know if
I think they have a different understanding of a lot of things.
I don't know if you did, Conrad, but I know that I had to take Alabama history
Yeah, I did.
I
too.
took Alabama history.
in high school
Yeah.
or middle school or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well,
Did you
'cause
take
you were
Tennessee?
from here.
Did you take
We learned
Tennessee
about
history?
Moundville.
I
and
did.
We actually
and,
took a
and
field
Michigan
trip to Moundville.
history. I took
Did you ever go to
both.
Moundville?
Mm-mm. No.
I think there were a lot less cool things to see when I was growing up. Field trips.
All right, so at 12:30 we will do
That was your
that.
field trip was Moundville?
Man, one day it was Taco Bell. That was a cool one.
Yeah. Moundville is exactly what you think.
It's just
it
like,
is.
all right, we done Moundville, we done Vulcan, we done the zoo. There's a Taco Bell. Let's take the kids down there.
Let's see what people are saying on the text line.
All right, 205-834-9450. Easiest way for you to interact with us each and every day here on the show. This one rolls in. See, I'm like Conrad. I did not watch 1 minute of the Olympics because I find it boring. I can't read that. Picture of Clydesdale with bald eagle wings on back. Beautiful. America. Dave says 8 out of 10 should be the requirement, and the couch story is awesome. Someone saying 9 out of 10. He needs
Ooh.
7 out of 10.
Okay. I'm beginning to lean towards 8 myself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to prove that you're a true American, I think you should be able to nail 80% of the questions that those that are trying to get into our country legally want to become American citizens.
Yeah.
What do you think? Molly said 7. Are you going 7 or are you going 8?
I think 8.
8? Okay.
Yep. Did anyone do the American Village field trip?
You know, that came along after.
Was that the one where you watched the old woman make butter?
That's the one down in Montevallo. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's a
We did that
replica.
in Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soap and butter and
We did that.
occasional goat walk by you.
All right, we're going to continue on. When we come back here on Three Man Front, we'll catch up with Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Don't forget, 12:30, we'll do the old test for Conrad Van
See,
Order.
I know Chris Stewart. He's a great American. He could pass this test.
Easily.
Easily.
Colors.
Not you.
Time will tell.
Yeah. Chris Stewart is next on Three Man Front. It is 11:14 here on Jocks. Each and every Wednesday here on the program, we get a chance to catch up with the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart, and it's brought to you each and every week by David Upton and his great folks down at Craneworks.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah, the big dog's got it.
Crimson Tide Network's Chris Stewart on Three Man Front is brought to you by Craneworks. Lift it, buy it, rent it. The big dog's got it. And now, Chris Stewart.
And Chris joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Happy game day, Chris. I hope you're well.
Man, I am, and I owe you guys an apology. I am at my alma mater, the University of Montevallo, career day, career fair with the mass communication department, and I did not hear the phone ring, and I'm very, very sorry.
There's no
apologize
apology.
for leaving you hanging.
No, you are good to go, man. Landrum was ticked off, but you know how I am. I roll with it. That's cool. It's no problem.
Well, I understand, and I would expect nothing less because Landrum, being the perfectionist that he is, and wanting to be down to the not breaking format at any point.
No.
I know how that works.
Yep. You know me too well.
Yeah, that's the way Landrum rolls.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, the last time I was at Montevallo,
I say that.
the last time I was at Montevallo, no kidding, it was after Terry Bowden's first year at Auburn, and he was being introduced by former local sportscaster Ken Lass. And it was, and I never forget, I think it was Ken Lass, and his opening line was, did you ever wonder if Superman is bulletproof or whatever, why would he duck when somebody threw a punch at him? I remember that was the opening line.
That's good.
Pretty good.
That's really good.
And then we got the audacity message.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you this, that was your last time at Montevallo. When I was a student at Montevallo, I would drive from here to Sanford and cover Terry Bowden's weekly press conference when he was the head coach of the Bulldogs.
Wow.
Because Kent Partridge, who was the SID then, later became the SID at Auburn, would grant me credentials. I was working for an AM radio station that if we wanted to increase the signal and the reach, we would open the door so people driving by on Highway 25 could actually hear the speaker because the speakers were stronger than the signal. But anyway, I was sports director for that little station, and I could get credentials to cover Sanford that I couldn't get on a regular basis somewhere else. And it's really kind of what I'm sharing with some of the students today is that, you kind of make your own opportunities and create things.
Oh, we just lost Chris.
We'll get him back. That's a tough spot at the campus. But I will continue just from my own experience, and I think you can add to this too. Yeah, create your own experiences, and early on in your career, don't always be looking for the payday, just the opportunity to go out there and do what you love, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Yes.
Now, questions from the group. Yes, ma'am.
Why were you pointing at Molly?
I was not pointing at Molly.
All right, let's get back to Chris Stewart. Chris, you were in Baton Rouge for the Saturday night game that turned out to be a ref show towards the second half, foul after foul. But I was curious, where was Lane Kiffin? I thought Lane Kiffin was like sitting front row and center for all the LSU basketball games. Or was that just for Kim Mulkey?
I think that's just for the Porter Wagner impersonator, Kim Mulkey. Do her suits not look like Porter Wagner's
Yes,
old
no,
suit?
you're absolutely right. I mean,
Okay.
But why am I the only one that thinks that Kim Mulkey pulls off that look? I think she does a great job
just
with it.
be
No,
honest
Kim-
that you
Kim
like
Mulkey
Kim
thinks so,
Mulkey.
too.
Just admit it.
I don't have a problem with Kim Mulkey.
No, I know, but I'm
What
talking.
do you mean? What do you mean, Pat?
No, I think that you believe that she is an attractive woman.
Oh, she's a nice looking lady,
Yeah,
but
okay.
no, I just think she pulls off the sequin suit. Who else does that besides Liberace back in his day?
Yeah, no one. No, you're right.
Go ahead, Chris.
Man, I wish my phone had disconnected again.
You see the kind of
This would've been a
arguments we
better
get
time
into.
for it to go out.
But you brought up
I
Porter
would love
Wagner.
to
When's the last time
continue
you
this.
wore sequins,
I
Chris?
would. AM or PM?
Hey, Conrad told us what you were wearing at the Christmas party that night.
Yeah, I wear at the Christmas party that night.
Conrad
I don't
doesn't
even
remember.
remember.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Conrad has
Yeah,
no
he
was-
recollection of
that's
that
right.
night.
Yeah.
We'll continue this at Soho Social. How about that?
That sounds good.
No, that's fantastic.
All right.
All kidding aside, just your thoughts on LSU basketball. I mean, I know you were in and out of there for the game itself, but a lot of talk that there potentially could be a change. But I was impressed at how hard they played against Alabama. It did not look
with
like a
you.
team that was tanking, so to speak.
No, and it also, you understood why Nate was talking about them as highly as he was. And if you know Nate, it's not going to be coach speak. He'll be honest about how he feels about a team and about his squad. And he was concerned going into that game. And you could see.
Lost Chris Stewart once again. Chris Stewart, presented by Craneworks, and joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. You surprised Alabama, a little over a 2-touchdown favorite tonight as they host Mississippi State, even with the question marks around LeBaron Philon?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of points, especially with Philon being listed as questionable on the availability report last night, because we've seen – if Hubbard is having a game, but Alabama's done a really nice job of containing Hubbard. So let's let's try Chris one more time. Chris, you were talking about LSU playing hard on Saturday against the Tide, and Nate being a little bit concerned about that.
Yeah, and we saw why. They made that a tight game. Alabama wasn't as good as they had been, obviously, against Arkansas, but in some way, I thought defensively they may have been better. Obviously, the talent offensively is not the same for LSU that Arkansas has, but no.
Well, unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to work out with Chris. And I will tell you, Craneworks and David Upton, they have been a fine sponsor of a lot of great people on this radio station over the years, including Chris Stewart. You've got Rental Works, obviously.
Wasteworks,
Craneworks. They just do an incredible job. And so simply check out David Upton and, of course, the great people there at Craneworks at craneworks.com.
That tells me, you know what, all of that with the miscommunication of the drop calls, that tells me take State plus the 14.5.
Think so?
I think so.
I think
Alabama wins the game, but I think State keeps it under that. That's just a huge number.
So that's the basketball universe telling us that, telling us the Mississippi State 14.5.
Yep.
All good with Chris?
Yeah. No, he said he's sorry that his phone can't get the job done, but Craneworks will always get the job done for you. So there you go.
Yeah, we apologize for that. We tried obviously multiple times, and it was a good strong. He's got a good phone. Just obviously down in North Shelby County, sometimes these things happen. So
felt like he had a lot of good things to tell us about the matchup.
No.
Well, at least we got the Kim Mulkey comment.
All right, I don't think you need LeBaron Philon to beat Mississippi State. Aiden Holloway.
You shouldn't.
Throw a bunch of shots.
Well, I mean, you beat LSU and gave you 8 points, so.
Give it to Aiden Sherrill.
Yeah.
If Sherrill had not gotten that technical foul, he would have been able to play longer against LSU.
He would have. But
he was protecting his teammate.
He was protecting his teammate, and, I mean, you brought it up a couple times, Landrum, since the Bediako situation, and he had to, go back to the bench and isn't eligible anymore. That seemed to light a fire under him of, oh, okay, you want that guy because I'm not good enough for you? Well, let me go show you what Aiden Sherrill can
And guess
do.
what? That stuff's contagious. Could this be the night of Noah?
No. I don't think there's ever a night for that.
7-foot surprise?
I'm sorry, I've said it before, but whatever they're paying him, my goodness gracious.
This is just an immediate reaction.
Or is he paying Alabama?
He better be. My immediate reaction, and maybe there's a better answer to this, worst transfer in Alabama basketball history.
Okay, if we're going transfer portal era and it's all sports, I'm selecting we'll do 5.
This is a no-brainer.
TJ Finley.
Oh yeah, that's a no-brainer.
So is Noah Williamson going on that?
Yeah, he's awful.
He's in the top 5?
Yeah, for me. He's number 1.
I kind of feel like we need to go back to an Auburn quarterback transfer, maybe, for the next one.
Calzada? Tyler Harrell?
Yeah.
Tyler
Harrell.
that was one.
I still can't wait to see him play.
He's probably still playing.
Well, you took the bait because now he was after Gibbs, right?
Or is he the same year? Because he was the year after Jamison Williams, and they thought that he was going to be the next Jamison Williams, and he was not.
Because I will never forget when Gibbs committed to Alabama, and Landrum and I sitting in the studio, and we're going, okay, let's look at film of this kid. And it took us 2 seconds to go, wow. Like, Alabama just got themselves an incredible football player. And seeing what he's doing on Sundays now.
I was supposed to say he's one of the best in the NFL.
I mean, it's just, he was
He was a special player.
he was electric. And we actually, when we were seeing the Tyler Harrell video from Louisville,
Oh,
we thought that we kind of, was like, wow, that guy's got speed.
Yeah, he had the speed. He just
Couldn't get on the field.
good news is that's what I see when I see Crowell run. You're a 5-star running back.
that's good
From
I like-
Jackson.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, Landrum has been consistent with that since he called his high school games.
He made fun of him when Justin Fields before he ever
He was good too.
hadn't won a Super Bowl, but I think he's doing pretty well.
He's pretty darn good in college.
Very much
He's
so.
pretty darn good. No Williamson, not good in college.
Noah was good for Bucknell.
Well, yeah, he was the Patriot League Player of the Year. Sorry, he was good for that competition level.
When it comes to protecting your home or business, you need a roofing team that truly abides by quality, and that's Abide Roofing. Abide Roofing offers tailored roofing solutions for every need, your family home, your commercial building, whatever you got. They deliver custom work that fits your style and your particular situation. And the Abide crew, they are number one. I used them a couple years ago, called Travis Lloyd. He dealt with my insurance company because Abide Roofing, they're the insurance claim masters. They help you navigate the process, and they're going to get what you deserve and what you pay for. You're also going to get warranties from Abide. It's going to give you the peace of mind. Plus, there's that no-cost consultation and estimate. So get started today by calling Abide Roofing at 205-577-7338 to get started. And they're going to send a crew out, and they're going to look at your situation. And if it's just some loose shingles, they can take care of that. If it's a whole new roof replacement like I had to have, they can do that and take care of you. And you're going to be 100% satisfied. I can promise you that. Ready to get started? Call them today, 205-577-7338, or simply go to abideroof.com.
Your latest bracketology from the number one bracketeer we know, Rocco Miller. You're going to hear it next on 3-Man Front.
It is 11:30 here on Jocks. Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. As we were watching it unfold last night in Norman, Oklahoma, the number one question everyone started asking themselves, what does this loss do for the Auburn Tigers? Well, as just happenstance would have it, we're talking to our man, Rocco Miller, today. He joins us here on Three Man Front, as he does each and every week as we lead up to Selection Sunday. Rocco, proud participant in the Great Guides there at Field of 68. They do a tremendous job covering college basketball. Also, you can follow Rocco's work at bracketeer.org.
And Rocco joins us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. Going back to Auburn, we kind of knew what Auburn was up against. Rocco and playing it out seemed like a must-win last night. They can't play defense. They can't defend or won't defend the three. I think a lot of Auburn fans probably ready for this season to end just based on watching this team, especially at the tail end of the season. Hard to believe that you have any confidence, but I know resume matters. How do you see it?
Yeah, I think the formula is pretty simple. We're at an interesting point. Great to be back on with you guys. Happy Wednesday to y'all. I think we're just at a simple point where Auburn right now, and depending on where you look, but I think you just look at the results and all the teams they've played that are tournament worthy, they're going to be afforded up to 15 total losses by the finish line. So last night means 13 total losses, and they've got I think the key to the season is these two games coming up. They don't look like much in terms of competition, playing a down Ole Miss team and a down LSU team, both at home and at Auburn. But they can't afford to lose those two. If they pick up those two wins, now they're 17-13. They can lose their finale at Alabama, no problem. They can lose in the SEC tournament, and there's still a decent chance the committee is going to take them at 17-15. They've taken 5 different 15-loss teams in the past, and Auburn has some of the same characteristics as those inclusions, mainly because they have such a hard strength of schedule, and they have a big road win. Auburn won at Florida. And, again, I don't have to agree with it. This is just the precedent. I think Auburn finds a way into the bracket if they can get to the finish line with 15 losses or less. And it's just that simple because they have the two most important things, the hard strength of schedule and the monster road win at the top of the resume. I happen to personally think it's a little ridiculous that one game is more important than all these losses. But that's a lot of times, especially nowadays when we're in this power vacuum of NCAA system where you saw the SEC squeeze in 14 teams last year. I think they're going to do a lot this year to try to make sure the SEC can get all 11 of these candidates into the door as well when we get to the final finish line.
All right, so if we're looking at, I know there's a lot of analytics out there, but obviously we spent a lot of time looking at Ken Palm and net. For the net rankings itself, I'm sitting here looking at Auburn. They're 5-11 quad 1, 2-2 in quad 2, 2-0 quad 3, 6-0 in quad 4. You told us a formula, or you were discussing this a couple weeks ago. Like when you look at the net rankings for you, Rocco, is there a specific formula with you looking at maybe quad 1 and quad 2 wins as compared to quad 3 and quad 4 combined in regards to kind of give you at least a thought process in regards to a team that potentially could be on a bubble? Is there a particular number you're looking at?
Yeah, historically, I like to remove quad 4 and then just look at the total record, just as a good starting point.
Okay.
Assuming that the team like Auburn has good wins. So we know that Auburn has won at Florida. They beat St. John's in Vegas. That's a really good mix of non-conference proof. And then in conference, they've knocked off Arkansas, Kentucky, Texas at home. They also beat NC State at home, another good non-conference result. And that's helping, keep them, near the cut line. So it's a mixture of the wins and then, of course, the record. Now, the record is very unpleasant right now. Obviously, sitting there at 9-13, that would have up until last year, that would have been unprecedented to include a team like that. But they changed the rules a little bit with adding Texas last year. Texas finished 10-13. So Auburn's right in that same neighborhood, and Auburn actually has better wins than that Texas team last year. And it just basically tells me that the SEC is getting a little bit more leniency and respect for how hard it is to navigate the league. But obviously, you look at this team right now, they're 1-5 in their last 6 games. If you just look at the last month of basketball, I'm looking at the Bart Torvik website, for example. They have Auburn right around 96 in the country. They're nowhere near a top 50 team the way they're playing right now. And I think that's what's turned off a lot of Auburn fans. And even if they got in, they might roll their eyes if they, get knocked out right away in the first game. So unfortunately, we're just at a point in time where there's so much money involved in the NCAA tournament that these bids are become so much financial pressure, and the politicking going on in the room tends to have a little bit more influence than the right basketball decision, in my opinion. Because I don't think we should be including teams with those types of records in meaningful games. They've had Auburn gets 2 chances every week, for example. Everybody in the SEC does, to get really good wins. And if you're constantly losing, especially down the stretch, I mean, that's a pretty good reason to get left out, and it historically has been until last year.
I do want to ask you this, Rocco, for our listeners that don't know, there are programs that use you as a consultant for future schedules. You watch a ton of basketball, West Coast, Middle America, East Coast. You know your stuff. When you look at body language from this Auburn team, just body language, you're watching it with your eyes, your eye test, what does it tell you?
Tells me that they're ready to move on.
Yeah.
It's and that's where we're at in college basketball. I'm so glad you asked that, because that was my entire point about Texas last year. The entire fan base wanted to get a new head coach. They ended up firing the coach anyway. They lost 7 games at home. I mean, it's a different story than Auburn, but it's starting to go down a very similar path to where, well, the NCAA and the SEC cared more about getting their units and making sure it was a historic year to get everybody possible into the field. They kind of leveraged Texas' 2 wins in Nashville at the SEC tournament to suddenly matter, whereas in previous years, those conference tournament wins didn't mean a lot. And I think we're also, to your point, it was an excellent point, we're in an era right now where everybody's on a 1-year contract. So at the end of the year, we don't know who's even going to be asked to come back and play for these teams or not. The portal is heavy. The freshman recruiting classes in the SEC are very good. And rosters are going to look a lot different next year at a lot of places, and that probably includes Auburn, right? So again, these kids, they know that they've got their money, they've done their jobs. They're at some places, if they don't have a tight culture, they're kind of ready to move on and see what's next for them, either next year in the portal or next year in the professional level.
Rocco Miller joins us, the Bracketeer.org, also Field of 68 joins us here on 3-Man Front. All right, let's talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide. They host Mississippi State tonight. They got Tennessee coming up this weekend. They still got a game against Auburn on the docket to wrap up the regular season. Where's the ceiling for the Alabama seeding come Selection Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, right now they're squeezing into the last 4 seed because Tennessee lost to Mizzou last night. That allowed Alabama to pop back in. You probably noticed the actual committee came on to CBS on Saturday and did not have Alabama in their top 16, but they did mention Alabama as the first team out of their mouth as the teams they looked closely at. So Alabama's right there on the cusp of being a top 4 seed, and I think they're there right this second. Obviously, it's really close between the 4 teams in the SEC, which is fascinating to me. We have a 4-pack of Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt, and they're very difficult to separate for various reasons. I do think Alabama, because of the fact they beat Illinois and they have a road win at St. John's in the non-conference, stands out above the other 3 in terms of who did the most non-conference damage. But you could also argue Arkansas, when you go head-to-head against the 3, they did, of course, lose to Alabama in 2 overtimes, but they totally destroyed the other 2 teams. So Arkansas's got a good argument if you just compare the 4 as performing the best head-to-head. But we think, based on the non-conference wins of Alabama, and, we always have to answer that question as if the team gets hot down the stretch and wins out. You would add, in that case, a road Tennessee win and a road Georgia win. Yeah, Alabama could make a strong case for a 3 seed by the end if they get really hot right now. I just think the inconsistencies and the lack of big man depth now with Bediako out of the picture could catch up to them at least on one of those nights, maybe multiple nights. And this is probably about where they're going to land in this 4 to 5 range.
Rocco Miller, our resident bracketeer, Bracketeer.org. There you can find the best, most comprehensive Get Your Ready bracket coverage there at Rocco's website. If we go nationally, we talked about them last week, but Michigan, when they were firing on all cylinders, looked to be elite. Well, Duke knocks them off. Duke last night, I know Notre Dame's not very good, but you still beat somebody by 50. It's not bad. Arizona has limped a little bit. Houston not playing their best basketball right now. As you look at that grouping of elite teams, is Duke now maybe the new leader in the clubhouse as far as being that team that may be the favorite by some to cut down the nets?
Well, I think at this point there's no disputing Duke has earned the number one spot from a merit point of view. Holding Michigan to 63 points is not easy. It's one of their lowest outputs of the year. They also played that game to a very low 62 possessions, one of the lowest amount of possession games Michigan's played all year. And when you look at that information, it's basically telling you, I know we all watch the game, but it's interesting to go back and kind of look at those stats because it just tells you Duke completely controlled the pace and the tempo in the game, and Michigan never had a lead in the second half. And Michigan's one of those a very good team, obviously, and when they win, they look spectacular. They are a Sports Center, laden team with dunks and threes, and just such an awesome team when they're clicking. But if you play a sticky defense like Duke's, and they can take you out of what you want to do, it can get ugly real quick. Not saying Michigan's going to run into that very many places, but I think that's just what impresses me the most about Duke and why Duke belongs number one based on that performance. Now, as we go forward, Michigan's going to play Illinois this weekend or this Friday in a blockbuster. I think both those teams are clearly national championship contenders. But for the time being, I don't know if there's anything Michigan can do to pass Duke in terms of bracketology. But obviously, as we get into the national tournament, it's all about matchups. So, keep this Duke-Michigan matchup in the back of your mind for when Michigan plays a really sticky defensive team. But I think for now, we're going to move forward in the rest of the season with Duke at the top of the perch, and we'll see if they get knocked off this weekend. They host Virginia. They should win at home against pretty much anybody in the country. But Virginia looked amazing last night, winning by 30 over NC State. They've only got 3 losses this year. I'm really just interested to see what that matchup looks like. In general, nationally, Arizona had a tough week where Koa Pete was injured and they were hanging out in Texas for like 5 days and a bunch of guys got sick. They only played 6 players against Baylor last night. Essentially, same with the Houston win. They found a way to win both games on the road. To me, that's really impressive. I mean, I know it's not a sexy win in terms of, how they won. They had to play from behind against Baylor, who's not a tournament team. But I think they showed a lot of toughness and they built a lot of character throughout that process. I think for Houston, we saw a team that really revealed its youth a little bit. We're so used to Houston being amazing this time of year and really starting to take over the conference race, whether it was the last couple of years in the Big 12 or the American Conference before that. I think this is their first 3-game losing streak since 2017. Can you guys believe that?
Wow.
So it shows like this is the first year with Sampson where they've really been relying on young guys, and some of that's really starting to show in these big matchups. And we're at a point now where they only have Colorado and Oklahoma State and one other team that's not going to be a tournament team left. So Houston cannot be a number 1 seed now. So they're out of the 1 seed race just like that. And last week we thought they were a 1 seed. So it shows you how fast things can change if you take a couple losses at the top. But again, I think they're still pretty dangerous in terms of making a run. Kingston Flemings is phenomenal. When they're clicking and playing tough and out rebounding their opponents, they're going to be really tough to beat. They've just kind of lost that physical toughness a little bit in this stretch, but maybe, he's such a great coach. Maybe he gets their attention now and gets them locked in for March. So should be interesting at Houston.
All right, I want to circle back before we let you go, Rocco, to Auburn. Just recap for those that might have just tuned in. You feel that if Auburn, even after maybe taking an early loss in the SEC tournament, as long as that number is at 15, you feel that Auburn is in the NCAA tournament?
I think they'll find a way in, whether I agree with it or not.
Right.
I'm just telling you that's the way it's going to play out because there's precedent for 15 lost teams to get in. There's no precedent for 16 lost teams to get in. I really think their whole season comes down to these 2 home games against, as ridiculous as it sounds, but these 2 home games against Ole Miss and LSU, if they can just win those 2, they're probably getting in. And it seems so easy, but we'll see because they're not playing great, and there's a chance that one of those 2 could come and bite them.
That is Rocco Miller. Rocco, can't thank you enough. Each and every week you join us as we head to Selection Sunday. Have a good rest of the week, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, Rocco.
You do the same. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Rocco. Rocco Miller, he joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. Just like he said, as wild as that sounds, the Auburn basketball season is going to come down to playing two pathetic teams in the Southeastern Conference, Ole Miss and LSU.
And get ready, because when we expand to more teams, you're going to have more teams playing bad basketball. They get to play more basketball.
Just what you want to see.
God bless America.
Especially in March. More three-man front on this Wednesday, 1-800-239-WJOX.
$11:49, three-man front here on this Wednesday. Rocco Miller, our resident bracketologist, bracketeer.org, joining the show. And in case you missed it, he believes at Auburn, you hold serve at home at Neville Arena, Ole Miss and LSU. You get those wins even with a loss to Alabama Coleman's Coliseum, maybe an early exit from the SEC tournament, as long as the Auburn Tigers are on that 15 number. Just 15 losses. Is that right? 15.
Yes, 15. 15 losses.
It's not Major League Baseball. We're not talking NBA regular season. This is college basketball tournament, 15 losses.
So basically, you're playing out. You beat Ole Miss and LSU. You lose to Alabama at Coleman. Then you go to the SEC basketball tournament, and you will be eliminated at some juncture in the tournament, which would then give you your 15th.
Remember
loss.
that line used to be if you were at 18, 19, you needed that 20th win, you
Yeah.
could get in the tournament.
Oh,
you felt better about it.
Back in the old days, if you got to 20 wins, you were in.
All of that's out of the window.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, you got to get 23, 24, 25, depending on your net ranking or Ken Palm.
But I'm so glad that it was reinforced by Rocco when I asked that question because he watches a ton of basketball. You just see it.
Mhm.
We don't have to talk about defensive
No, he doesn't have a dog
efficiency
in
or
the hut.
anything else. You're looking at body language of that team, and he said exactly what I thought. And I think a lot of people, when they watch that team play down the stretch, looks like a team that is already looking at their next chapter. Most of them. Not saying all of them. I feel like the kid from Europe is actually the one that goes the hardest. He plays the hardest the entire time.
Well, and he brought up Texas last year as kind of an example of a team that got in. They finished the regular season. They were 17-14, and they finished the SEC tournament 19-15. They didn't go over the 15 losses, and they got in.
But they got 19 wins.
They did get 2 wins in Nashville, which helped.
Do we think Auburn's going to get 2 wins in Nashville?
Right now, no. They're not going to get 1 win.
I mean, this was based on yesterday.
Right now, why would you count them to beat LSU and Ole Miss at home?
If LSU plays against Auburn like they did Alabama over the weekend, that's going to be a tough game.
So let's just play this out. As of yesterday, Auburn would play Ole Miss in the first round in Nashville. Okay? If you win that one, you play Mizzou.
Yeah.
Then you win that one, you play Alabama.
Yeah, Mizzou would be tough if you needed a second win in Nashville. They're playing good right now.
They are. And a Missouri team you lost to earlier. But I think it's still tough. He mentioned beating that Florida team on the road, beating an Arkansas team at home, and some of the Q1 wins. But what have you done for me lately? Besides Kentucky.
I mean, if you're a committee member and you turned on last night's game.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not.
And forget about the bottom of the screen to tell you the score, but just watching, you might have a completely different disposition on this Auburn team and whether you'd be willing to let them play more basketball.
Well, and what do we talk about all the year in NCAA tournament time? What typically can carry you a lot of the times in the NCAA tournament is guard play. And Auburn is not great defending the perimeter.
No.
So this could, you could have some tough matchups early on if you get in.
I will tell you something that is good defending, and that is Golston Tree Service and defending your property, because if a dangerous tree is leaning near your house or over your house, or maybe branches are blocking your view, you need to call Golston Tree Service at 205-337-4443. Golston's licensed pros. They can handle everything from trimming and pruning to full tree removals, fast, safe, and affordable. Don't wait until that next storm causes damage around your house. Golston Tree Service can help you, and they also have that 24-hour emergency storm service. I know we're going to get some storms coming up tomorrow, so if your home is affected by trees or on your property, or hopefully it doesn't hit your deck or your car, they can handle you 24 hours a day. 205-337-4443. That is Golston Tree Service.
We got SEC basketball, big slate of college basketball tonight. Alabama, of course, they're hosting Mississippi State, 8 o'clock the tip time inside of Coleman Coliseum. Alabama last check around a 14.5 point favorite. LeBaron Feiline still listed on the availability report yesterday, Pat, as questionable for Nate Oates and the Crimson Tide. So will Feiline be able to go? Will he be limited minutes? Do we get more, I don't know, just more production from Aiden Holloway?
You know, it's interesting. Alabama's already got the 20 wins, and it's the first time since 1989 through 1992 that Alabama has had that many consecutive seasons in a row with 20 wins. So since Nate Oates has been there, it's been pretty impressive. Matter of fact, since he's been at the capstone, he has won a league best 85 SEC games. 85.
Strong.
More than anybody else in the SEC. Alabama's won 6 straight games, its longest winning streak of the season. Holloway is shooting around 44% from behind the three-point arc.
Yeah.
That is number 2 in the SEC behind, I think, Peck. I think he's number 1.
Yeah, Nigel Pack, yeah.
Yeah, he's number 1, and you saw that on display last night. Woo. And Holloway is number 12 in all of college basketball at shooting the three.
Also tonight, the SEC, number 7, Florida taking on Texas. Big one there in Austin, 6 o'clock the tip. Georgia is in Nashville taking on Vandy. Texas A&M is at number 20, Arkansas. 8 o'clock tip there. And then hapless LSU takes on Ole Miss at the Pavilion there in Oxford. Ooh, that'll be a fun one to ref.
I think I'll be watching the other games.
So all Auburn has to do is beat each of those two teams at home, according to the numbers, to get into the tournament. Loaded up hour. Is Conrad remaining an American citizen? We'll find out.